Okay, so this video is about the new Frost rework that we got. Let's go over a few talents. So major changes. Empower rune weapon is now a 30-second recharge, meaning that you can have two charges. Now you can see here at the bottom, I have two charges. It doesn't do what it used to do. So what it used to do is it empowered your weapon, giving you 15% haste and generating rune and 5 runic power every 5 seconds. So haste and RP and rune. Now what it does is it drains the enemy, so you actually have to target something, and instead of giving you rune and RP over time, it simply gave you straight up 40 RP and a free killing machine. Grants you a killing machine. So it looks like this, right? I'm targeting this, and I'm casting Empowering Weapon, and you'll see there's gonna be an animation, and you can see my RP here at the bottom is gonna go up. Boom, and it did damage. You can see here 200k, and it started to recharge. 30-second CD. Oh, and look, I'll use it again. You can see here it gives me a killing machine. Um, yeah. So let's see. Okay, my Wikarat. Okay. So next thing that you need to know is this talent. Just under it, when you consume a rhyme, it reduces the cooldown of empowering weapon by 4 seconds. So like this practically means that your empowering weapon it will be almost always up, because just by doing your rotation, you will reduce the cooldown of it. So empowering weapon will be used like very often in your rotation. Um, okay. So once you know that, there's a synergy there. Next thing you need to know, Pillar of Frost is the same. Everything is the same here. I'm not gonna go over AoE, too much of AoE yet. Um, so next thing you need to know is this is no longer a choice. Rage of the Frozen Champion and Frigid Executioner. So before you had to choose between one of these two, increase this used to increase your obliterate. Now is just runic empowerment. We found one rune, just a passive. But this one is the biggest one. This used to be what you used to play with Brett. Um, Basically, it got changed. So let's read it. So Frost Strike and Glacial Advance has a 15% chance to trigger a rhyme, and your rhyme generates 8 runic power while rhyme is active. So this gives you RP, and it makes you have more rhyme. So the biggest change here is the first line. Frost Strike have a 15% increased chance to trigger a rhyme. So before, when you Frost Strike, you couldn't get a rhyme. See here, I got a rhyme after clicking Frost Strike. So before that wasn't possible. When you clicked Frost Strike, you could have never gotten a rhyme. Rhyme only came from Obliterate. So now you have more ways of getting rhyme. Brett can also get rhyme now, but we can go into that later. So the flow will be different. So you'll be able to press Frost Strike into rhyme, into Obliterate, into rhyme, into Frost Strike, into rhyme, into Obliterate. You know what I mean? Like you're not gonna just be Obliterate. If you don't get a proc, you Frost Strike, Obliterate. Like Frost strike, obliterate. It's not gonna look like that anymore. It's gonna you're gonna you're gonna be using more holding blast. You're gonna be using more rhyme. Um, there's a bunch of other talents here that we can go over later. The other talent that we need to read is this one here, Killing Streak. All you have to understand here is that when you press obliterate, it will consume all of the killing machine stack that you have, no matter what. So like, if I hit the dummy and I get 2 stack, right? You see here I have 1 stack. If I get 2, and if I press obliterate right now, it's gonna consume both. Boom. You see it consume both. Um, I personally dislike this because there's no real benefit of doing that. It just do a little bit more damage, but it doesn't give you more um, RP. Doesn't it starve you in a way? So this will definitely feel clunky, killing spree, because it consumes all of the killing machine at once. Um, I think it's good and bad. It When you consume both, it gives you a tiny buff like haste, like 1.5% haste, so like 3% haste for each stack, so 3% haste, and your killing machine do 25% increased crit damage, which I don't think is enough, but whatever. Um, Obliterate is almost the same. There's something else that's different. It says during Pillar of Frost, Empire rune weapon cause your next obliterate or frost strike to cost no rune. This 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 is not really important. It's just obliteration. Nothing is different really. And then let's go to the other important change is bread here. Bread of sindragosa. So bread of sindragosa is pretty much the same. The only difference is they gave you more flexibility. What I mean by that is now it's an empowered spell. But don't be scared, don't worry about it. It don't matter. So it just gives you more flexibility for what you enjoy, okay? So if you don't know what an empower spell is, an empower spell is evoker. If you don't know what evoker does, all good, I'll show you. So basically the way that you have to use breath now, okay, I'll do it a few times. You see here I have breath ready, right? So you have to hold breath. You'll see here there's gonna be a bar. I'll do it right now, okay? And then you have to cast it like this. You have to hold it, and then you release it, and then you cast it, okay? And there's the way that Empower spell works is there are multiple threshold. There's 3 threshold: rank 1, rank 2, rank 3. So when I casted it, you saw a bar, and the bar decides which rank you cast your breath on. And each type of breath does different things. So you can see here it says 1, 2, 3. So if you read 1, you can ignore the damage part. So the damage part is like, it just does less damage. It does more damage per second, but it basically lasts for less. So basically, a rank 1 breath can only last up for 8 seconds. So when you cast breath at rank 1, your breath will only last for 8 seconds, no matter how much RP you have. Obviously, you still have to maintain RP, okay? You can see here at the top it says consuming 16 runic power. So even though you cast a rank 1, you still have to maintain your runic power to maintain breath for 8 seconds. But if you still have RP after that 8 seconds, your breath will stop, even though you're full RP. That's because you cast it at rank 1. But it says here at the end, refounds 75 seconds of cooldown. So what this means is you have a shorter breath, but you'll be able to use breath every 45 seconds. So your breath of sindragosa is now a 45-second cooldown, if you want to. So look, I'll do it right here. So I'm gonna use breath here, and I'm only going to channel it once. So I'm gonna click it and release it right away. And you will see here at the top, there's gonna be a weak aura, and it's gonna immediately stop after 8 seconds. Even though I have RP, it's still gonna drain RP for 8 seconds. So I'm pressing breath here one time, and then you can see here, I have a bunch of RP, but it's still gonna stop after 8 seconds. And it's over, you see? I don't have breath anymore, but I still have RP. But look at the cooldown here, 30 seconds left already. So this basically means that you have breath for every 45 seconds if you really want. So if you want to have fun, you can do that. If you don't like breath, this means you can play breath without really hating it, because you can just do that. Like, it's more flexible. So now I'm gonna show you rank 2. So rank 2 is the same thing, but instead of 8 seconds, it's 15 seconds. So that means for 15 seconds after I press Breath of Sindragosa, I'm going to drain 16 RP per second. So you still have to maintain the RP, but Breath will stop after 15 seconds no matter what. Okay? So look here. So and what you have to do is you have to release it in the middle. Right here, boom. And now you can see here, my breath is gonna stop after 15 seconds here. I'll try to maintain it a bit. So it's coming up, 10. And then, even though I have RP, it's gonna stop. 15, boom, it stopped. But, look at the CD. It's already 1 minute. So in 1 minute, I can use breath again. Right? So that's the downside, right? Is your breath lasts less, but you can use it more often. And then the last rank is 30 seconds. So if you're confident and you want to have a longer breath and you believe that you're not gonna run out and do a mechanic, and you're like good player, then you can charge it up all the way and try your best to last for 30 seconds, which is quite hard sometimes, especially on like target dummies. Usually in raid it's doable with like loss and stuff like that. Um, but the caveat is that if you rank 3, if you channel breath fully, it's a 2-minute CD. It doesn't get refound. So rank 1 is a 35-second CD breath. You have breath every 45 seconds. Rank 2 is you have breath every 1.5, around that, 115. And rank 3 is you don't, it's a 2-minute. So breath doesn't really change, other the fact then you get more flexibility. And it's a cast now. You have to hold the button and charge it. I guess I can try to look. I'm gonna cast breath here for 30 seconds. Okay, I'll cheat a bit. Let me get a bit of RP. Yeah, I'll just go. Okay, so you can see here, I'm going to charge my breath fully. Here, boom, fully release it, and then here you can see my breath is going, and I'll try my best to get it to all the way to 30 seconds without loss. To be able to do it, I'm pretty okay at this game. You see here, it's gonna be gone soon. 27, 30. Boom. It stopped. Even though I have RP, I could have went probably for like 30 seconds. But it don't matter, it just stops. And the CD is normal. Just 2 minutes. Okay. So that's the main difference for like this. What you already knew about Frost, right? Now, other than all that, there's like a million different talent that's changed. especially in AoE. So now Frost Decay is completely different. It got entirely reworked in the way that you do not do AoE and single target. So back on season 2, if you did your single target rotation, you also did your AoE rotation. Now Frost Decay is gonna have its own AoE and its own single target button, which means it's gonna resemble. It's gonna be like a red pally. It's gonna be like a enhancement shaman. It's going into that direction. Um, so if you are interested, this is the build I'm running. So I'm playing Rider of the Apocalypse because it's super fun. So I can go real quick, right? And what you have to know about this is they changed Frostworm's Fury. You can see here, Frostworm's Fury is 1.5 minutes. So it's baseline 1.5 minutes now if you choose the talent. You don't have to choose two talents. So this is the only reason why this build works with Brett is because Frostworm's Fury is 1.5. It used to be 3, but you had to take a talent to make it 1.5 and you couldn't pick that talent in Brett. But now you can. So this is a viable build right now on PTR. Um, so basically, um, this build, how it works, is every 1.5 minutes, I'm pressing Breath of Sindragosa. So every 1.5 minutes, I have my Breath of Sindragosa with my Rider of the Apocalypse. Because I'm pressing Frostform's Fury every 1.5. And I'm pairing it with Breath of Sindragosa. My Breath of Sindragosa will only last for 15 seconds. So that's the whole build. Let's go. So this is dual-wield. Let's talk about the. I don't really want to talk about the other talent really right now. Um, I'll. What I can do for you guys is I probably can just show you a bunch of pictures of all the new talent, um, and then you can read them. But let me go over two-hand right now. So you see here I have a two-hand equipped. Okay, let me show you what's changed for two-hand real quick. So if you go into my spell book and you go over Might of the Frozen Waste. So this is a passive that we get. So as soon as you equip a two-hand weapon, you get this. And this got changed a little bit. It says wielding a two-handed weapon increase your obliterate damage by 30%. So that's the same. But it also increased your Frostscythe damage by 30%. So what this means is that your Frostscythe will do 30% more damage when you equip two-hand weapon, which is really good. Because you can see here in the talent, they made Frostscythe really high in the trees. And in AoE, Frostscythe is basically everything. Oh yeah, one more thing. Let's look, now that we're like talking about a little bit of AoE and two hand, you can see here on the right side of the tree, cleaving strike got changed. We don't have cleaving D&D anymore. What we have is Frostscythe deals 20% increased damage during Remorseless Winter. So when you press Remorseless Winter, you'll do more damage, right? With Frostscythe. So in AoE, all you're gonna do is you're gonna be pressing Frostscythe. You're no longer gonna be pressing Obliterate. You're no longer gonna be pressing D&D. D&D is dead. You do not even press the. You don't even need to bind the button anymore. You can remove it entirely. It does nothing for Frost. It's completely dead. Um, do do not worry about D&D. D&D, you don't need it anymore as Frost. It's completely dead. You can trust me. And the only reason why you would use D&D is for slow, Grip of the Dead. And if you play Rider of the Apocalypse, there's a talent here that um, spawns a D&D for you, which used to be good, but now it's completely useless, which I don't know why it still exists. Um, you see here it says you gain the benefit of your Dead and Decay. Like, this is completely useless. I don't know why it still exists. Like, D&D is completely dead. So don't worry about D&D. It's all about Frostscythe now. The reason why two-hand will be good and might be the build is because Frostscythe scales of um, weapon, main hand. So look, I'll show you it. So if you read Frostscythe, you can see here that it says does 115k damage, frost damage. 115k. Okay, I have a two-hand equip. Let me equip two one-hand. Let me equip two one-hand weapon at the same level, and let me go read Frostscythe now. If I go read Frostscythe, so it used to be 115k, now it's 82k. 82k. So what I'm thinking is gonna happen is like you're gonna be playing two hand for AoE because you're just gonna be doing more damage because the new playstyle is completely just you spam Frostscythe, you spam Frostscythe, you spam Frostscythe, and then you press Glacial Advance to spend your RP that you generated, and then you rhyme. You don't press Obliterate anymore. Um, so yeah. Um, Also, what changed about two hand is Razorize. If you guys are not familiar with Razorize, this is the enchant. This basically puts a buff on the enemy, stacking up 5 times. It increases your frost attack by 3% times 5. So 5 times 3, 15%. And so back on season 2, I'll show you here. I have a killing machine. So when you use a killing machine here, it would apply a stack, right? Because your killing machine shoot a glacial advance. If you look here, it's gonna shoot a glacial advance, and that glacial advance would apply Razor Rise for you. But now it no longer applies Razor Rise if you don't have the enchant. So the only change is that it's now tied to this talent here. If you read it, it says when glacial advance damage an enemy, it applies Razor Rise. Um, so two hand will need this most likely, which is fine. This is like a good AoE talent. Now, I'm going to mouse over all of the new talents that I did not, but I might add pictures in the video, but I'll let you read them for like 10 seconds each. So you can see here, increase Rush Strike and Glacial Advance damage by 10%. This might be good in AoE. Glacial Advance seems to be what you press instead of Rush Strike. In Season 2, you used to press Rush Strike a lot, but now you'll probably be pressing Glacial Advance. This is Arctic Assault. Basically, Arctic Assault is every time you consume a killing machine, you shoot a Glacial Advance. Back in Season 2, that Glacial Advance, like I just explained, used to automatically apply Razor Rise. Now you have to talent into this, which is at the bottom. So two hand will need this. You will need one of these talents. Just either Avalanche, like you need a way to apply Razor Rise. Playing without Razor Rise is bad. So you have this talent, increase the damage of Obliterate and damage of Frostscythe. You'll probably have this for AoE. Because you're gonna be spamming Frostscythe. This hasn't changed. This is a new talent. When you rhyme, um, it shoots 2 blade at the target. Um, so just more AoE. Um, when you rhyme, they added a lot of damage to rhyme. You have this. This is like a new talent, but it's like a little bit. You don't really have to care about it. Um, it replaces Remorseless Winter, so if you don't like that, you can play that. Basically, every time you press Pillar of Frost, it will automatically give you Remorseless Winter. So basically, the whole point of this is you don't have to press Remorseless Winter anymore if you play this. You don't even have Remorseless Winter, like it doesn't even show up in your talent anymore if you play this. This synergizes very well with this. You can see here, Frostscythe deals 20% increased damage during Remorseless Winter. So pretty much when you press Pillar of Frost, you will summon, look, I'll do it here. I'm gonna press Pillar of Frost. And you can see here, I have Remorseless Winter here, right? but I only press one button. Um, there you go, and you can see here Froststrike damage increased by 20%. Frostscythe. So this synergizes well with this. Bone Grinder is the same. Smoldering Offense is the same. I mean, all this talent is like they're just passive, right? You don't. I bet you don't even know what they do. I don't even know what they do, right? It's like just text, you know. Um, this is usually pretty good. I don't know why I don't have it. Probably because of this specific build. Killing Streak, I already explained to you. This is funky a little bit. It's might be better in AoE. Um, Obliteration is the same. The Long Winter is the same. This is probably not too good on two hands, so I wouldn't play it. Icy Death Torrent is pretty good again. Avalanche is the same, right? Shattering Blade is the same. The only difference is now you need this talent to apply Glacial Advance. Frostbane is a new talent. Let's read it a bit. When you cast Glacial Advance, there's a chance you get a proc. That proc makes your Froststrike free, right? So your Froststrike is free, and it transforms into something called Frostbane. So it replaces Froststrike when you proc, and then you can cast Frostbane. When you cast Frostbane, it starts an onslaught that strikes twice, unleashing the chilling sense of winter, like what dealing. So basically, it's an AoE Frost Strike. Okay, um, that's it. Like, I don't really, I haven't really tested it too much, but it's pretty good. I think if it works with, I think it's bugged right now. You have Bread of Sindragosa is different, but like not really. Pretty cool change, honestly. I feel like if you don't like Bread of Sindragosa, this change can make you like it. I feel like I don't know why. I feel like if you didn't like Bread, you might like it now. I feel like I always like Bread. Hyper Prixia is the same shit. Icebreaker, Buff Your Rhyme, same shit. North Winds is like a different talent. Um, so this one is a pretty cool one. When you press Rolling Blast, it hits 2 target now. So Rhyme is like back on the table. Everfrost, same shit. It just buffs Remorseless Winter. Gathering Storm, same. Biting Cold, same. Frostscythe there is pretty much the same, but better. Runic Command got changed, but it's like better. It used to only increase your RP, now it also increases your rune regen. You have this talent, Icy Onslaught. Um, when you have a chance to get a proc, your ability just do more damage. Runic Overflow, just more damage. Pillar of Frost, Enduring Strength. Frost Reaper is different. So when you click Obliterate, it has a chance to put a debuff on the enemy, like a link, and you can break the link, right? And do big damage. It's like your Chain of Ice explode, like. So you have a chance to apply like a mark on the target, and when you press Frostscythe, it breaks the mark and explode, dealing damage to 2 target. So that's pretty nice. That's why Frostscythe is like, everything is about Frostscythe now. You can see here, Obliterate has a chance to apply the mark. Frostscythe breaks the mark. Assault is the same. Did I miss something? I don't think so. We can read the tier set real quick. Don't really want to go into it, but so this is when you play Rider of the Apocalypse. Pillar of Frost now summons an allied for 10 seconds. Trollsbane's Icy Fury deals 10% increased damage and hit Obliterate deals 35% increased damage. It's just passive, right? Just more damage. Casting Obliterate and Frostscythe tells this tells order Trollsbane to cast his obliterate or Froststrike like better, and your obliterate do more damage to your target, just passive damage. You know what I mean? If I change hero talent, if I go Deadbringer, the tier set is different for Deadbringer. Let me read it to you real quick. Okay, there you go. You see here the tier set is different. It says when you cast Reaper's Mark, you're given one stack of Exterminate with 150% first sight and 125% second sight effectiveness. So basically, you're given an extra Exterminate, and they do more damage. And the Reaper's Mark can stack up to 15 times, additional times. So before it stacked to 40, and the higher stack you had, the more explosion it did. So the way that Reaper's Mark work is when you put it on when you put your mark on the target, you stack it up to 40, and then it explodes automatically. Now it's gonna be able to stack to 55, and it's gonna explode for more damage, so more AOE, and increase your crit chance by 10% after it explodes for 8 seconds. This is pretty good. Um, we already had something like that that increased our crit damage. I believe it was like Dragonfly, maybe Shadowlands even. So you'll do more damage during your burst. You know what I mean? It's pretty big. Uh, this is season 3, so it's like the last season of the expansion. So tier sets are gonna be all great, all big damage. That's the whole point of the last season. Season 1 and 2 were like very low damage, but now it's like the last season, so they go all in like they always do. And I think I'm gonna stop here for the video for now. Because Frost got a lot of rework and it's a lot to take in. Um, I'll talk about the rotation a bit later in another video, because the rotation is very complicated and changed. Well, I don't mean complicated by complicated, I mean complicated by different, and I'm not familiar with it yet, but it's kind of feels the same, with the only caveat that Empire Rune Weapon is like actually a ability that you press constantly. So yeah, um, I'll see you guys later. Thank you.